the NDC has a track record. Ghanaians will recall that when the NDC took over power in 2009, the energy sector was bedeviled with a number of factors. First, in terms of our generation capacity, we just had 1,180 megawatts. And this was because of the fact that since independence, apart from the Akosombo Dam and the Kpung Dam, and subsequently the additions of the two generating plants in Abuaze, that's the TAPCO and the TICO, Ghana had not invested in any generating plants. Meanwhile, our demand continuously increased. Indeed, the Energy Commission indicates that on an annual basis, our demand increases by 10%. And so, at the time that the NDC took over, we had insufficient generation capacity. And people will recall that even in 2006 and 2007, we went through energy crisis because of this insufficiency of energy generation. We also had a transmission sector that was bedeviled with obsolete equipment. Equipment that had been constructed and instituted in the 50s and the 60s, and therefore were no longer fit for purpose. And for our distribution sector, our losses were huge. Our losses were as much as 30 plus, which meant that if you produce electricity of about 100 Ghana cedis, our distribution companies could only account for 70 Ghana cedis, and 30 Ghana cedis was lost. This was the situation that the NDC found in 2009. In addition to the financial ill health of the energy sector that had in itself been crippled by the legacy debt. So what did the NDC do? The NDC increased our generation capacity in the 8 years from 1,810 megawatts to 4,292 megawatts. That's about 240% increment. The NDC also ensured that we modernize our transmission sector by ensuring that our 161 kV lines were upgraded to 330 kV lines. What does that mean? It simply means that if we're using, for example, a Kia car, in conveying electricity, we now decided to be using something like an articulated truck to convey the same electricity. And so it increased our efficiency and reduced losses. In terms of the distribution end, what we tried doing was, one, to help ECG reduce its losses by investing in the sector. And one of the key areas we dealt with was to let Ghana sign up to the Millennium Challenge Corporation Initiative, which brought about the Compound 2. Unfortunately, our brothers who took over from us in 2016-17 ensured that we lost that component of funding that was coming from the United States government, which was supposed to be a grant, and therefore Ghanaians did not need to pay for it. But at least we had a record, the transmission, and of course, the debt situation. Because one of the first things we did was to ring-fence the legacy debt that was occasioned as a result of many years of subsidies that were unpaid for. We ring-fenced it and introduced the Energy Sector Act that was supposed to introduce a tax handle that will ensure that in 5 years we would have retired the legacy debt and let the energy sector utilities be once again financially healthy. So on the basis of this, one, we were able to really produce a robust energy sector. And with this as a record, we expected that the current government would have continued on that in terms of investment. And for 7 years, not a single megawatt has been added to the system. 7 years, not a single upgrade has been done to our national transmission systems. For 7 years, ECG, which is our major distribution company, has had its losses moved from 22% in 2017 January to 30.63% in 2024. This is the sorry state of our energy sector. So with our background and with our history, we are very convinced that we are going to deliver on our promises. Promises that will ensure that, as I indicated earlier, we will provide energy services that are reliable, that are available, affordable, and produced in a very sustainable manner.